Hey guys, Chad Jenkins with the SeedSpark Collab. In the previous video, I introduced the concept of the IC3 flywheel, modeled after Jim Collins in the flywheel effect. And as you recall, if you watched that video, I talked about the first part of it being collect, the next being combine, and the last being create, the result of the first two. So I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into the collect. When I say collect, it's really driven by my personal experience of every day I'm given. As I look backwards, I was collecting new relationships or new experiences, or also reading books and having meetings. I was also grabbing new knowledge. And what it empowered me to do is to combine that. When I combined it, every time I did, it created something new. And a lot of times it created new value creation opportunities, or of course in my world, as you would expect, it created a lot of collaborations, which are bountiful and continue to provide me a lot of value every day. I'm looking forward to the same thing for you. As we think about the IC3 framework, and we focus really intently on that very first one, as I mentioned, the idea that you're collecting relationships on a daily basis is just being really intentional about that. Anytime that I meet someone, I make sure, I'm a really stickler on this, to swap full contact details. You just never know when you're going to look up and to the right and remember that person that you met the last time you were in Manhattan. And if you just had his text or her email or maybe their address, I know that seems kind of foreign now with work from home and work remote and everybody's on the go, but sometimes being able to send that special gift that's just a remembrance of someone that you met, having that address on file, hugely valuable to my team who facilitates that for me. But being really stickler about those relationships that you're creating on a daily basis. Be intentional about collecting that information. I have a fully defined process that happens with LinkedIn and sending a book, autographed book, all kinds of things that we do to separate ourselves from just everyone else out there. But it all starts with being intentional about capturing those relationships and taking action on them. The next one, knowledge, intentional every day. I normally have 3 books that I'm carrying with me, some electronic, some physical, and I have a commitment internally, and personally I should say, to read 10 pages per book per day. I'm actually looking for what's the difference between the two. What are the concepts? How can I take the concepts from book 1 and book 3 and combine them together to, as you would expect, create something new? You can see this flywheel is pretty important to me. The next is experiences. Being aware, taking a couple minutes after you have a meeting or have a travel. Maybe it was a pain getting on this plane. I recently got stuck for 16 hours at Sky Harbor trying to get back to the East Coast. That was not fun, starting out at 4:30 in the morning. But those experiences, to me, as I look back at them, the just experience that I had led me to taking a pretty serious look at private flight. Again, I've had a plane before, and now I think it's time to do it again. So any of these experiences, just being really intentional and seeing how you can collect those experiences and then, of course, combine them every time you'll create. Awarenesses, big one for me. Things are happening all the time. You often, if you're anywhere close to me or watch a couple of these videos, you'll hear me talk about seeing what's between the lines. What is being said, but more importantly, what's not being said. So I contribute all of that to what I classify as awarenesses. Being really intentional about seeing what's going on here and maybe what's going on that's not visible. Oh, the nuggets that you can uncover when you begin to look at things that way and with that intentionality. So I really hope this deep dive on collect empowers you to understand that you yourself are experiencing, creating these relationships, being aware, and also gathering knowledge on a daily basis. So just combining it, watch what happens. You'll create every time. Thanks for stopping by.